Good morning. Good morning. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic morning. I was able to cancel our meeting. There was some things that happened with some other people on our team, so eventually it was just going to be canceled anyway. So canceled it. Gonna be live trading here this morning, this beautiful Tuesday. It is sunny outside here in Nebraska, and I'm excited. We got some news today at 10 o'clock, so let's begin by taking a look at the charts. Let's look at the higher time frame. Let's look at what the news is, and let's break it down from there. Give me a second, and we will get going here. Let's see. All right, I think we got, is it right here? Yeah, so give me a second. I need to get that fixed. There we go. All right, so for those of you that don't know, if you ever want to know what the economic calendar is, all you have to do is type in FX calendar, then you'll click calendar or FX or factory, Forex factory. And so that hits right here, and so we are looking at Tuesday. So here's Tuesday's news, right? All of Tuesday, and we got the different currencies. US, USD, 10 a.m., consumer confidence, okay? So this is our first news. Because of this, we are going to wait till 10 a.m. That's about, what is that, 40 minutes from now? 40 minutes from now, that is when we will be looking for a setup. If something is abundantly clear before then, we may consider, but I doubt it. I doubt that we'll take something. We had a fantastic day yesterday. I don't want to give all my profits that I made yesterday back today on a foolish trade. So that is what we're seeing as far as the calendar goes. Morning, John. Glad you're here. We're going to jump over to the charts, and we're going to start on the monthly. We're coming up at the end of June, and I just want to see where we are sitting here, guys. Okay, let's zoom in here. Okay, so this is the monthly calendar here. We've had quite a large expansion, and we've retraced some with about 5 days left in the month. And considering we are, let's just go down. So Monday, or the monthly, is not giving me much. Good morning, InterTrader. Glad to have you. I'm glad to be here on a Tuesday. Normally, I'm not able to do Tuesdays. All right, let's drop down to the weekly time frame. So this is the weekly time frame. We're going to get rid of some of these levels, and we'll put them back on here in a bit, okay? On the weekly time frame, we ran into this fair value gap here. We found some support and was able to expand from this fair value gap higher. We hit a level which obviously we don't really have any type of idea why it would have stopped there. Let's just throw a fib on here, and let's see what that comes out to be. Okay, since we have time and we're not going to be taking anything before news, we have a little bit of time here, okay? All right, so here's the, if we do, we put a Fibonacci tool from this high, from the high to the low of this manipulation leg, and we expand this higher. That gives this wick high close to about 1.5. Yeah, that's about 1.5 if you put it just on this candle. If we were to do it on the bodies, that's 4 times roughly. So just to give you an idea of where it could have been. But we now are retracing back into this fair value gap. Now the next thing I would be doing is putting daily quarters. Where is it? Price. I need price. Price quarters. Next thing I'm going to be doing is putting quarters on this to see where price is running into. Obviously, we have equilibrium right here, and we're really sitting in the top quadrant here of these when we put quarters on this fair value gap. So from this low to this high, we're sitting in this 75% range. Here's the 50% range, 25% range, and then here's the bottom range. Okay, so we're sitting in premium. Anything above this 50% is considered bullish on a higher time frame. We're still sitting on the weekly chart. Okay, so we have, today's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday. So we have 4 more trading days, and we want to see what's going to happen the rest of the week. Well, weekly profiles, there's a PDF if you haven't. If you look on X, you can find a weekly profile file. Let me see if I have it here. I know I have one. I'm just going to see if I can pull one up real quick. Do you guys know what weekly profiles are? Seeing if there's anything here that will give me an idea. Okay, so here's an example of one. Let me draw on over to, yeah, AM Trades. He probably does one. Let me show you guys here. Right here is an example of weekly profiles. If you go right here, this is the Wednesday low of week. And so a weekly profile will look like this. If a Wednesday low of the week, you'll have a high on Tuesday. The low will be put in on Wednesday, and then you'll have an expansion through Friday. Okay, so as of right now, we could have a low of week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and we could expand on Thursday and Friday. That's kind of the idea that I'm having. So let's drop down to the daily, and let's look at what this looks like here. Okay, so we've had a decent level of a retracement here into this daily fair value gap, and this is the weekly. I want to remember that this is the weekly. And then we have one of these for the daily, right? So daily would look something like this. And we're sitting in premium and daily as well. So I want to see, how does price want to react with coming into this daily fair value gap? We have this daily fair value gap sitting up here that I think we're going to eventually hit. And my idea as far as a weekly profile right now, I think has something, will look something like this. Where today, that is Monday. So there's Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's kind of the idea that I'm having. I think today may be an inside day. However, we do have news, and news is going to happen right now. So let's drop down to here. I just want to see what's going to happen with price right now. And then we'll continue this over here on this. Okay. So my idea is we've already hit the low, and I don't want to go any lower. As far as today goes, did we hit the low? When was that? Yeah, 4 a.m. See how we swept? We swept here. A little bit lower right here. So now we're looking at what does price want to do after we've had this level of expansion here. We've made equal highs. And we're waiting for news. I'm waiting for the news to take place. Oh, thanks, guys. I'm sorry. I'm still on Twitter. There you go. When you're managing your own thing, it doesn't work very well. All right, so what was I looking at here? Where was I? I'm coming down from the high daily time frame, so we're looking at the daily time frame right here. We have a lot of room to retrace. We could retrace to the previous day's Friday's lows. We have Friday's lows right here. That could be an immediate retracement. We also have our regular trading hours, which we have a gap, an opening range gap that we need to fill. We'll probably fill some of it, which brings us back to these lows again. So let's see if that's part of the manipulation, and then we get an expansion higher after news. I think that's the idea that I really want right now. Daily time frame, I'm not seeing much because we've swept the lows, and that's quite a bit of a stretch to try to reach for these highs in the AM session. And I'm just looking for an AM session move right now. We've ran these equal lows. Equal lows are now done. Okay, those were the equal lows that we had. And then we have this 4 hour. I like that. There's a small 4 hour. I want to see if it's better on the 1 hour. But there's a small 4 hour fair value gap right here. You're going to see this. There's a small 4 hour. And then on the 1 hour, do we have anything? We really don't have anything on the 1 hour. We got this tiny fair value gap here that's insignificant to me. There's really nothing. Wow. I'm surprised. This is well used. We got these wicks that are basically balancing these areas that I'm not sure how we want to respond to that. This looks like a giant manipulation right here. We got the 1 hour right here, which is a balanced price, which is part of a balanced price range. Well, we're going to put that in here and see what happens with price over the next 30 minutes. Let's see here. So John, you're pointing out an SMT on the daily. Or on the 1 hour, excuse me. So from this low to this low on ES and this low to this low, let's see what this low is. 11. Yeah, so about 25 cents. So SMT within the daily fair value gap. To me, I only use that as partial, like somewhat of a confirmation that we may see higher prices. So now I need additional confirmation are we going to, also, I feel like that move played out right here. You know what I mean? And then, yeah, we're on our way down to the 5 or the 15 minute here. So here we have the 1 hour sitting here. Nice balanced price range right here. We had this breaker that happened earlier. I wonder if that played out. No, not quite. So here's a breaker from the body. Not saying it's something we want to use yet. We also have, you could also use this level here if you wanted. But, I mean, it's a 15-minute. I'd want to see it play out on the 5-minute. All right, so we see price pushing lower here. And we got multiple fair value gap, 15-minute fair value gaps. This is the first fair value gap above these swing highs on the 15-minute. Why am I putting all these on here? I'm putting these on here so when we end up taking a play, I've already looked left. I'm trying to get everything that's on the left side of the charts charted so that when I'm looking for setups, I know what's happened on the left side of the chart. So when I'm looking for an expansion lower or higher, I'm not missing out. I'm not ignorant on what has happened previously, because we'll see price find resistance at these types of levels. And so I just want them on the chart so I know what's going on. All right, so we're seeing a 1-minute expansion lower. I'm not doing anything with it. All right, here's equilibrium. Equilibrium's from this swing low to this swing high on the 15-minute is sitting right here, which is overlapping with this 15-minute breaker as well. Just something interesting. We'll see if that stays around for the next 20 minutes or not. So this is the dealing range, low to high. Here's equilibrium. Drop down to the 5-minute. This would be a inversion. If this breaks higher, I'm not taking it. This would be an inversion play. Okay, why is this an inversion play? Because we swept the lows. We swept these lows, and we're in a 1-hour BISI. If this was to close higher and without news and it showed a nice strong candle, this would be an easy entry. This is the play that we made 20 handles on yesterday. It was a great play. So these are beautiful entries as long as we know that we have a higher time frame target, let's say equal highs or a swing high that we've been targeting, and we've ran lows. These are great plays, great entries. It's probably even better on the 30-second, is my guess. All right, yeah, so entry has already happened right there, but we're not taking it. We got news. Target would be this swing high right here. All right. So we'll use this as just an example of what one of my models is, which is the inversion model. So we ran lower, we grabbed liquidity over here. We inversed that almost immediately within a few minutes, and you would target this swing high right here. As soon as we target this swing high, you're either taking profit off or you're moving your stop to break even. And a close below this fair value gap would mean an invalidation of the play, and you would stop out. Okay, so right now, you're either taking profit off and you're moving your stop to break even. So it would look something like this. Your stop is at break even, and you've taken profit. You've even taken it off, or you're taking some of your profit off, and then you'll target that swing high for 30 handles. Okay, so these are great plays that work quite often. And so when they don't, we had one that did not work yesterday. And sometimes they don't, but they make up for when you get a trade like this. So we're already up 22 handles. Let's watch this play out. I mean, based on this, it should work out. We should see this hit this high. If I was able to take profit, if I took profit here, I would be sitting in a comfortable spot with 10 handles and then holding for this high. If it would stop you out, it stops you out. But you're looking for this swing high to teach ourselves to hold for liquidity, because we play on liquidity, we don't play patterns. Okay? So we're looking for this to run and hit this high, and that would be the exit. We also have a fair value gap right above that, so good probability it will hold there or get some type of retracement. Okay, it's almost there. There it is. There's equal highs. There it is, 28 handles from this inversion on this 30-second. Nice trade setup. However, we didn't take it. Why? We got news. So we didn't take that trade. Did you guys like the analysis on that? Is that commentary helpful? Give me a 1. Give me a thumbs up if you like that type of commentary. Walking through trades, even though I didn't take it, was that helpful? And yeah, you can give me some likes. I would appreciate some likes. Give me some love. You see that? Look how much of a reaction that's having after it grabbed the liquidity. This is why you have to take profits at points of liquidity. This is why I said we need to take some right here too, because it could have done the same thing here, but it didn't. It decided it wanted to run for here. So that's why we move our stop to break even, because it's clear. I mean, that trade idea is now done. You could see a breaker entry right here. Low, high, lower, low. Breaker right here. It tapped it just now. That's very attractive. If we didn't hit this swing high, I would take it, but we've already grabbed liquidity, and we got news. I'm going to switch screens here. I'm going to see if this one's set up here, guys. No, let me get it set up here. It's still here. I'm trying to get this set up. It should pop up there. There it is. Okay. Now, me not taking that before news, to me, is helping me build my discipline, which is a asset that you need to be able to build off of, is your ability to stay out of trade even though a trade idea is there. Because you can't, I mean, there's going to be millions of trade ideas and you just can't take every one, or you're just going to lose your you're going to lose your capital. You're going to just use up what you got. Now, that was a nice trade. Yeah, you have to deal with those feelings of, man, I could have been done for the day right there and I could have got 28 handles. And I may not even get 28 handles on the next trade idea after the news. Maybe that's the case. Either way, I'm made a rule that I'm not going to take those types of trades before news, and I didn't. So that's a win for me. Could I have done an eval account? Yeah, probably. I just didn't have it set up. I didn't have my evals set up to be able to jump in and take that trade from doing the higher time frame analysis that we were doing earlier. All right, it looks like it hit the high, excuse me. It hit this swing high, and now the first fair value gap we really have is this 15-minute. Let's see if we eventually want to come up here. Do you guys like this light, or do you like that light? Do you like the purple, or do you just like the normal light? Kind of like both. Sometimes I go back and forth between the two. All right, we got 10 minutes here. Now, if you're looking like, oh, here's another inversion, why wouldn't you take this one? Because this hit liquidity. We hit liquidity here. So it's not as attractive because we already grabbed buy side liquidity. I'm going to grab some ibuprofen, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. See how price didn't actually run for that high after it inversed this level? Because it already grabbed liquidity. Are you talking about Monday at 1500? I think it's right here. Is it right there at 19,855? Here's the 15-minute. I think this is the swing high. 15-minute liquidity. It's a 15-minute swing high right there. Price could come up and hit that. But yeah, I think it's, if anything, it's going to hold till news. Yeah. New York, anytime we do, and if anybody wants to share times or they want to share something on the chart, make sure you put your charts to UTC4 New York, because that is what I would say a majority of traders will use, because that's New York time, and that's how the algorithm works. It's based off New York time. So yeah, my time right now is 8:54 Central Standard Time. So it's a different time than what the New York Standard or New York local time is. I do like that breaker entry. It just was before news. It didn't quite hit that opening price on the 15-minute. That's another breaker from that initial swing low. We hit it here, we ran for this high, and then we stabbed into it again. Grabbed this fair value gaps, rebalanced this fair value gap. All right, for 3 more minutes. We got 3 minutes till the news. Let's see what happens. I want to see how it reacts. Obviously, we have these levels that we got right now. We have this breaker. We got this 1 hour fair value gap and this 15-minute fair value gap. We got to swing a high here. We just want to see what does price want to do based on that. And then we'll look for structure, see how the structure is shaping up, and see if we have any options. And actually, let's look here. All right, so we have an SMT here from this low to this high on the 1 minute. Here and here. But well, let's see what happens around news. Now, if these candles, if we still get some green candles, the news could just push us up into this 15-minute intertrader. That could be an option. But I'd be really careful on, because to me it's 50-50 right now on where price wants to go. We're looking to get a trade in here today. Get 10 handles. That's our goal. My goal is 10 handles, base hits. 10 handles, 1 contract's $200. Do that on 10 different accounts. That's $2,000. And I mean 2 different accounts, 10 different accounts, because I trade on an Apex funded accounts. And you can see that on the top of my screen, you'll see a code if you wanted to get 80% off any Apex eval accounts. You're welcome to get those. All right, there's the news. $15-minute swing high, 15-minute fair value gap. My fair value gaps on the 15-minute are always pink or light purple. My 1 hour is always blue. My 5 minute is always teal, and my sub 5 minutes are always gray. As far as what my charts are looking at, so even though we're on the 1 minute, I'll keep these higher time frame ones on here. All right, so there's the high. Intertrader, you should be out now, right? You hit your target. Here's our fair value gap. Let's see how it holds on this 15-minute fair value gap. Here's our 15-minute chart. And we have a 15-minute this is the 15-minute fair value gap, and there's nothing above it, just the swing high. Oh, that's what I forgot to change that. So we have this is a 4 hour as well. we just rebalanced this 4-hour fair value gap, sitting right below this 15-minute. Oh, gotcha. You're looking for shorts. Yeah, I could say I could look for shorts here too. I mean, considering we're on the high side, we're in the premium range of this dealing range, right? So we got, this is the premium range right here. Hang on, I got somebody coming to the door. Give me 1 second. All right. Had cousins staying over, so moms and dads are coming to pick them up. All right, so right now we're waiting for price to do something. Price right now is kind of stalling. It's stalling around this area. Does it want to continue higher, or are we going to see a reversal type move? If it reverses, we don't have anything quite yet. There's really nothing that is setting up for us as far as a short. I bet you ES looks better. Let's just go look at ES. So ES has this nice fair value gap sitting right here. That'd be a nice entry if it closed and run for these swing highs. Obviously, I'm not trading ES, but this in 37 seconds may be an entry. ES looks bullish. That would bring us for NQ for some move higher. Nice expansion. So if we're going to continue higher, we still got 10 minutes left for this 15-minute fair value gap right here. We have this consolidation here. You guys see that consolidation or low resistance liquidity run for the swing high? That could be a potential target for liquidity that it may want to run into. Patience is the game, guys. I know it's not as fun when we're sitting here just waiting. It's not very fun to just sit and wait. But that is 90% of trading. 90% of trading is sitting here staring at charts, waiting for an A+ setup to show up that we can take. Until then, I mean, we're gonna be sitting here waiting. I have two models that I trade. I trade an inversion model. Which we had a beautiful inversion before news that I didn't take. That gave us 28 handles. we had a breaker set up right here where it hit the breaker, low, high, lower, low, and it made the swing high right here. We also had another breaker entry right here before news, again, that made this other high. So we have the model that's giving us potential setups. We just didn't have the right time for them to set up, right? We had news that was coming out fairly soon, and we're not going to take those types of risks with our capital and put risk on the table for something that could just blow our account. So we missed 3 opportunities to because of the news. Now we're just waiting for something else to show up. These models show up all the time in price action. We're just waiting for the right one, the best one that has a high probability for a win. And that's what we're looking for. We could see this as consolidation. Let's just run through a scenario on the 5-minute here. This could be some consolidation, and we can see a market maker sell model. So initial consolidation, reaccumulation, smart money reversal with a move lower. That's a potential idea. We could also already be in the market maker buy model on the buy side right here with price moving higher. The 15-minute breaker, are you talking about the one at 1:45, or excuse me, 1:30 a.m. this morning that we already hit? I see that one. Or a bullish or bearish, I should say. We can't do anything with the bullish 15-minute. So the ES idea basically ran the highs before we had an opportunity. Your next one would be here. A close above this fair value gap on ES. Close above this would be towards the swing high right here. And potentially this high. We ran right through this 15-minute. We're sitting above the 15-minute. That's probably a good sign for ES that it will end up doing that. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Bullish breaker right here. Which would be a nice entry, to be honest. If we are bullish and we want to go higher, it will find some resistance here and move higher. So if we break it down to the 5-minute, we come down to the 5-minute. It's also there on the 5-minute. That would be within this 5-minute fair value gap. Right here. So we have a 5-minute fair value gap that price would come down into. So I like that overlapping breaker there, John. But right now, I'm getting the feeling of the beginning of a market maker sell model, which is we're on the beginnings of it, so we're on the buy side of the curve, potentially. But I don't see any downside target, to be honest. So maybe we're on the buy side of the curve on a buy model. We're just looking for some structure, and right now we're not getting anything. When it just goes straight up, you can't really do anything with that. Let's see what happens when this 15 minute closes in 3 minutes. A lot of sitting, a lot of waiting. A lot of sitting, a lot of waiting. If you have questions, guys, about anything you're looking at on the charts, let me know. I'm happy to talk through any of that. Sometimes I hate news at 10 o'clock. I feel like 10 o'clock news messes up my opportunities. It gets annoying. But so John, what you're talking about is on the 1 hour, which we had. This is the close above this candle right here would be the CSID on a higher time frame. We're waiting because this was the first. This is how I use my change in state of delivery on a higher time frame. The first candle that comes into the higher time frame or into the key level, the first candle that does that, we want that first candle to break. Once that breaks above, that's the change in state of delivery. So yes, we have hit that. We are just waiting for the close, which technically is 45 minutes away. You could do it based off of this one that made the lower low here, and this would have been the close right there. So a change in state of delivery, and we see price now moving in the other direction. So ultimately, my high time frame target is this daily fair value gap, which I think we'll eventually hit this week. That's really what I think we will hit. If we're going to take a long, what I really want to see happen, if we're going to look at longs, okay, I want this to take place. I want to see a retracement. There's a couple different scenarios. We could see a large retracement and a continuation down to this level again, and then an expansion. That's option one. Option two could be just an expansion lower, find a order block or a fair value gap, and then inverse, play off the inverse of a large move lower or an aggressive move lower and then aggressive move higher. That would be an option. I tend to lean towards the first one a little bit more, where we play this right there, because we could actually play this breaker right here. We have a bearish breaker sitting right here. That's a bearish breaker right there. That could be an option as well. And it doesn't have to go all the way down here. We're just looking for 10-20 handles. Yep, So yeah, if you're using that, John, then yes, we do now have a change in state of delivery. Doesn't mean we can't get something like this, which it looks like we're getting something right now. But being in premium, this would be a good place for a short. Higher probability for a short. All right, so we grant this low here. Let's see what happens here. That's a 1 minute. Let me go to the 30-second. Let's see how this reacts here. We grab some liquidity. If we are bullish, we want to see this blow right through it right now. Oh, I was about to click enter. If it gives me another opportunity, I'll consider taking this short. I should have got in on that. I should have got in right here. I was waiting for it to close and for a fair value gap, and it didn't give it to me. Here's a major bullish order block. We should find some resistance right there. This is a 30-second order block right there. You see it bouncing off that. All right, I like the way this 2 minute looks. So we have the high, low, higher high, and we have this fair value gap right here. That's really what I'd be looking for price to come up into this fair value gap. Now, if we want to see this not inversed, if this fair value gap gets inversed, that would be a long entry. And then, or this finding resistance here could be a short entry. It depends on your bias. If you're bullish on the day, then you would really want to play this right here. This move through this level, okay? And I would tend to agree with John that I think overall we should be bullish. We rebalanced on the 5 minute as well. So this is the 5 minute fair value gap. We just hit the consequent encroachment of that fair value gap. So I like this for a long on the 2 minute. That will be my entry. I will play that entry, guys. We still got another minute left. But this I think will be my entry if we get it. We got this 5 minute here that we're in. When you have a bias and you have options for a bullish move and a bearish move, you have to lean towards your bias. And your bias could be wrong. Yesterday was a great example of how I had the wrong bias, but I played a trade on my bias and I made 20 handles. So you can still win if you have the wrong bias. It's always better to be on side because you have a better percentage of winning. It's also only 9:20 right, or 10:20 right now. So we're not in a macro time, which honestly we probably should wait till 10:45 to see something really set up. That would be ideal. I'm thumbing back and forth between these time frames just to see if we see anything. Okay, so here's one right here. We want to see, here is a inversion on the 30-second. We want that to fail if we're bullish. This would be a good signature in price to help give us confirmation that we may see a bullish move. So this trade just failed. This inversion just failed on the 30-second from a redelivery from a breaker. Okay, so that may be indication that we see higher prices. It may not. It may just be sloppy price action now for the next 20 minutes. So we want to be patient and not just jump into a trade when we're not in a macro time. We could see, I mean, right now on the 1 minute, we're consolidating right here. We're not running, right? We have a breaker setup that we hit. We should be running if that's really the case. If that's not the case, then we're either consolidating or we're getting ready for a reversal. Those are the terms that I'm currently looking at. Doesn't look like we're going to get this 2 minute here quite yet. Now we have to wait another 2 minutes for that bad boy. Why am I not taking this 1 minute? Because there's another 1 minute fair value gap right here. Okay, there's another 1 minute right here. So you need to go to the time frame that has only one fair value gap. And that is right here. Your risk to reward is actually decent here. A close below this is only 6 handles. Close above here, we'd be in it for a long. Towards this swing high, it's 21 handles. You obviously you could get it higher depending on where it closes. So this is kind of what I'm looking at right now. Being very careful because we are also at this, we're still valid bearish breaker. 24 seconds. All right, I'm taking that long right there. My target or my entry was right here. It's only 14 handles, but that's what our target will be.
Order submitted.
I don't like this wick, to be honest. I really don't like that wick. We should not be seeing price action like that. Well, I don't want to be price action like that.
submitted.
I'm looking, I mean, I have it right here. This is my trade. We broke above this inversion. We have this high right here. We are a little high. So as soon as we start seeing it going green, I'm probably going to move my stop to break even if I can get it. I'm not liking how this is reacting, guys. I'm not liking it at all. I'm thinking of we've got 2 minutes left on that candle. It really, you're going to have figure out what you want your hard stop to be, especially with a minute and a half left. And I really don't know. I'm indecisive. I'm just seeing how the candle is reacting right now. Five-minute here. "23 seconds on this candle. Close below this gray. We will be out." I like that close. I'll be moving my stop to break even as soon as we hit this internal swing high. My stop will be going to break even. I want to move my stop to break even as soon as I possibly can to preserve profit, but it needs to make sense, right? So this is an internal high that if we hit, I will be moving my stop to break even immediately. I'm not liking that, guys. All right, we're going to close it there.
Order filled.
I'm not going to hold that any longer. That is a loss, guys, on my part. Let's see if it actually closes 30 seconds. I closed early. Technically, the trade is, if it doesn't close below, oh, that's going to piss me off. We're going to get back in on that.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Stops move to break even. I should have waited. This is why you wait for the stop.
Order filled.
All right, stopped out at break even.
Order filled.
So stopped out on break even. That trade would have been a break even from where the entry was, and it's probably going to work right now. Is what it is. This is why it's so important to not. There's the win. Son of a gun. That's okay. Shoot. That trade worked out, guys. You just had to hold through some crazy drawdown, basically up to 20 handles. That's strange, InterTrader. This was actually a winning trade. I just didn't hold through the drawdown because the drawdown was $17 handles. That's really large. I really don't like going more than 10. And that went down to 17 handles with a good amount of time left. That just sucks. It is what it is. We call it for what it is. Me not following my rules. Now, I mean, I could have a max stop loss of 20 and say if anything goes above 20, it's an automatic out. And that trade would have worked out, but I don't have that rule, and it might be something I need to incorporate to have a hard stop on these inversions, because when it's subjective, your emotions have to decide. You decide based on how you're feeling or what you're seeing in the candle. And as you can tell, this candle basically freaked me out of a trade, and I missed my opportunity for I don't know what that is. That would have been 20 handles to that high. 15, 14 handles, 13 handles to that. So, missed that opportunity. So, winning trade, poor execution, 0 for 1. All right, what are we looking at? I'm just waiting for something else to show up. I have this marked out. I'm not going to take it. That's an inversion. I would wait for the breaker to come back up to it if I was going to take it. For those of you that were here yesterday, when I look at this play compared to what yesterday's play was, I mean, it's not even a comparison. Yesterday's play was fantastic. It was right here. Right here. We ran lows here and here. We inversed it immediately. We took a long here and we ran straight for that high. That's the type of breaker or type of inversion I want to play. This is the type of breaker I would want to play. Right? Price action right now is not as clean. More wicky. And it's working. But it wicked me out of the trade. All right, we're coming up. We got 5 minutes till the 11 a.m. macro. We'll see if something gives us a setup in there. Can't do much in this price action, guys. You can't do much. We're neither going higher or lower. We're in a trend. I mean, if you were in a trade from down here, you could still be in this trade, but you should not be looking to get anything else right now. I would not be taking this one. We're creating some low resistance liquidity right here. We're getting a setup for a short, in my opinion. All right, so we have this is our market structure shift, or excuse me, yeah, market structure shift on the lower time frame. This is the low, because this is the high, this is the leg. This swing low is what created the higher high. $15-minute breaker on the downside, yeah, it's just sitting right here. All right, 15 more minutes on the stream. Let's see if we can get something in the next 15 minutes. Really don't like this price action, guys. I'm not liking what this looks like. Do you see what this looks like? That's 30 second. Let's go to 1 minute. Oops. I'm not sure if I want to take anything in here. So we're going to need to leave this range, or we're going to need to see some strong manipulation for me to want to do something. So on the 1 minute, there's nothing here. All we have is this, and this is still high in premium. Morning, Honey Roy. How you doing today? Well, it looks like the only good move today, even though, so 2 for 2, even though I didn't execute correctly, so I lost the trade. The best trade right here was the trade before news. Hands down, this is the best trade we've seen so far. Yeah, I see that, Honey Roy. Price action, though, has been a little wonky. The 3-minute, also there's also a 3-minute fair value gap right here. So if I was to pick, Honey Roy, between the 2 and 3, I'd probably say the 3. Because it has the lower one. And we did dip into that. Four-minute also did, and the 5-minute did as well. So you got, even though you got a 2-minute, you got to wonder if the 3-minute's going to break, the 4-minute's going to break, and the 5-minute's going to break. So those are, to me, when you have a lower time frame fair value gap that is running into a higher time frame fair value gap, you really have to be consider, does these higher time frame PD arrays, is that going to cause price to run the other direction, right? If you were going to take this, you would want to take your stop and move it to break even as soon as possible, and your opportunity would be when it hits there, right? I'm personally not going to take it because I've just seen the 3, 4, and 5. I'm not going to play into that. If anything, you could take the 5. The 5 would look good. The 5 would set up for a breaker too. All right, so you have on the 2-minute, let's see, what are you at? 33 seconds. We'll talk through that because there's nothing else going on right now. If we close below this, you would move your stop to break even as soon as we hit this low and take some profits. All right, so your entry would be right there. I'm not taking this. Your initial target would be right here for break even. I don't think so. I'm looking at this entire range here. Let's see. What is that range there? No, premium. You're in. I'm looking at this full range on the 5-minute. From this low to this high, equilibrium is right here. See where all this consolidation is? See where the equilibrium is? That's equilibrium. We're still in premium right now. You can do smaller legs and find out where equilibrium is on smaller legs for sure. You just got to figure out which ones do you want to use. And I'm using the ones that make the lowest low, that swing low to the high. So that's where this one comes in. You can also do one from this high to this low, and you'll probably see that equilibrium is sitting right here somewhere above this 15-minute. Okay, so you would want to move your stop almost. Yeah, I would be moving my stop to break even right now. Stops to break even, I would take some profit too. Okay. And you would be stopped out right there. So you would take some profit and you would be stopped out right there. That would have just been a little under 7 handles. This 5-minute is the main reason why I didn't like the 2-minute. It doesn't mean it can't continue on. I'm just saying the probability becomes less likely that it works in our favor, or it will run against us, stop us out, and then continue. So 6 handles would have been, you would have gotten 6 handles there. We got this 1-minute fair value gap right here. Out of this, once we grab this low, I like this 1 minute for these equal highs. So I'm watching this one right here. I do not want to see it ticking up to this. If we tick up to this and we barely close above it, I'm not interested. I want to see a large candle right here. I want to see a nice solid candle that closes above it. That's what I'll take. If you're 5-minute inverted, well, you got 2 conversations. First off, this is a very large stop loss. Okay, so let me say it another way. If you were to get in short here on the close of this 5-minute, your stop loss is over 20 handles, because you would technically play, trade would be valid if it doesn't trade above this level here, the 5-minute. Your target would be this swing low sitting right here at this equilibrium. Your stop would be moved to break even, and you would take some profit, and then you would try to target these lows down here. So you're looking for swings. Does that make sense, Honey Roy? We also have a breaker right here, right in this fair value gap. High, low, higher, high. Yeah, 20 handles is huge stop loss. Now, I don't like this as much. The main reason is we have equal lows right here. These equal lows makes me not want to take this trade. Oh, this sucks. We're probably going to get this entry, and we have equal lows. So you could take this, but then you have equal lows down here that could cause it to fail. To be honest, I don't want it to work right now. But they are known to work. It's just not as high probability because you have these equal lows that it could run and grab. All right, so it looks like we won't get it. I am not going to take this. We're too high right now. I'm not taking it because of these equal lows. Now, if we come back down here, we find some support, and we don't go below this, I'll take it. But I doubt we're going to get that. All right, there's your target. Stop to break even. You got a fair value gap right here that we have to get through. Your next target would be up here. Alright, this looks like it's gonna work. You really need to see this break here, right? A close above that in 3 seconds. Well, it looks like we got it. Alright. Nice pump. Nice pumperooski. There is an SMT on ES that would make this more valid and would make those equal lows less important. Hindsight, this SMT right here, so we have a lower low and a lower low, where we have a low and just equal lows. So this SMT here, I think, would make this not as important. So this would have been more viable for me. Stop is still at break even. We didn't hit that high yet. We want to see it bounce off this right here. All right, we're going to see how this trade plays out. Stop is at break even. You could have moved, you could have took your profit up. You could have put it right below here. Moved your stop to right under this fair value gap, because if we close below this inversion, you would want to get out. So this new inversion that we made right here, if we close below that, you want to close your trade. All right, there's a pump. Let's see if we can get it. I like that.
Order filled.
I'm going to see if this goes right now. Take a quick win. There it is. I'm going to be out there.
Order filled.
All right, so I just did basically a 3-handle play on that momentum. All right, there's a win for us right there. Nice play. I didn't take it because of these equal lows. I played this momentum candle, got in right here, just got out for about 4 handles, 3-4 handles. And that's fine. I'm not gonna take the risk of it just wicking up and going against me. When I do a momentum play, I'm not gonna hold it, because I'm already getting it in high end premium. I would have rather got it down here where I was supposed to get it. So I'll take the momentum play in and out real quick. But that ended up for a win for you guys. Nice play besides these equal lows. These equal lows threw me off. The SMT kind of made these less valid. And that we did have a turtle soup right here. Just a little whoop, a little wick below. Made equal lows, and then it ran. So, decent trade. I'm lost the first trade that I took. It was a winning trade. I didn't have a set stop loss for the inversion, so I need to go back and figure out where I want to put those when we have larger stop losses, because those larger stop losses, like you're talking about, Honey, right, when I was saying that this was a 20 handle stop loss, when we close below it, that's just too big. So I got to figure out what is my hard stop. You got to figure out what is that hard stop for you, And maybe I'll do 20 handles. I'm not a fan of 20 handles. That just sounds, that irks on the inside. Maybe it's 15 handles. But doing that, I think, would be very important to make sure that I don't, so I don't miss a trade. Because what was that trade? It was right here. It was on the 2 minute. Let me show you guys for those that showed up late. I played this inversion right here. When we inverted this, we never closed below this box, this inversion. However, we did wick down 17 handles. So I had to handle a 17 handle drawdown, and I didn't have a set stop. So when it did this with 2 minutes on the candle, or like a minute and a half left on the candle, I decided that I don't want to take the risk of that time and it running further against me. So I ended up getting out for about a 15 handles of a loss because of that. Now, if I would have had a hard stop at 20, I would have still been in it, and it would have turned into a win. But because I didn't manage my trade properly, I ended up taking a loss on this winning trade idea. So that's that. So I will be back here tomorrow, guys. Thanks for being here. If you haven't, give me a like on the channel. I really appreciate it. Thanks for being here, guys. If you like content like this, we'll be back here typically every day of the week except today, Tuesdays, which I was able to be here today. So we'll